education does not necessarily mean college.
Yeah, I said it doesn't mean
Okay,
formal
so
schooling.
so
Yeah.
so what I'm saying to you is when people think when you speak about education, they automatically like, well, you don't have to go to college. Who said anything about college university? I just say education.
Yeah,
Education starts when you're young and you grow up and you're educated. Who wants to walk around being a dummy all their lives? Who wants
yeah,
to walk around on a 12th grade level all their lives? How can you be the best of you without being educated? And education does not have to be a form of education. Even if you go to become a mechanic, there's a form of education that comes with that. You just don't learn how to. You weren't born putting a tire on, right? You have to go get a certification. That's education. Okay, that's a form of
yeah.
education.
So I wrote this, and yeah, I'm the one who wrote this in the chat. So we're saying the same thing. Education does not mean formal school. Trade school is education. So I'm with you there.
So so so
And
let
I
me
highlighted it. So
so let me finish saying this. So that there's no we agree with each other when we say you don't have to have so let's just take that. I don't know why y'all think that people think that you have to have a formal education. Nobody's saying that you have to have a formal education. Nobody's saying that. We're just saying you need to be good at something. Something
Yeah.
you need to be good at, right? And you
Mhm.
got to be able to be people like people who are swift. Okay? We don't like you need to know something. Just put it that way.
Yeah,
And I think that sometimes what we do is we get through life, we're like, oh, I can do this. But what you don't understand is even with that, you need education because most of these things come with testing, right? You have to be able to test. So you say, let's get a certificate in computer science or IT, right? Like those tests are easy. You got to learn the material. And that just doesn't come easy for everybody. So if you just sitting here thinking education is not important, I'll just do an IT because somebody's told you that you don't need a degree or a college degree to get it. It's not easy certification. You still have to have enough smarts or enough information about it to be able to pass the test. So understand education is important no matter what you go into.
and we're saying the same thing because somebody's saying men need to go to college. For those of y'all that don't know, I work at a college. I am a director at a college. Men and women, and here's the thing: the students that come through now through college mostly are non-traditional students, meaning they're single moms, they're people in their 30s, they're people who already had kids, already had jobs. What do we call it? Second degree, you know, people. So one of the things that you'll find is that our society, and this is just America in general, is not mathematically inclined. Okay, they fail my statistics class religiously. Both of them. They fail math fundamentals, addition, subtraction, divisions, fractions, mixed numbers, proportions. They fail that. Simple math. We are not a mathematically inclined. I'm not making jokes here. I'm not saying that we're dumb. What I'm saying is we need to learn the other way. We learn best, and this is why I made a reference to the boys when we work with our hands. Basically, learn backwards, learn on the job. That is where we get our stars from in this society. A lot of and that tactile type of learning, that kinesthetic learning, that's sitting there up under the engine, looking at the camshaft move. That is how our society needs to learn. We do too much of this sit down in a classroom and thinking that's where we're going to get a lot of the knowledge from. No, get on the job and learn the knowledge there. In fact, some of the best students are people who did a tech level job, then go up to the advanced level engineer because now they know the system better than everybody and they learned it that way. Kinesthetic learning is like something we downplay and we think everybody's an audio and visual learner. So that's all I'm saying. But no, y'all got
Yeah,
it.
I agree. I don't think it's for everybody. So why do you think that people think that? Why do you think we get so antsy about like I just feel like it just turns into a yeah college, like the whole education thing. Like, what do you think that that's an issue?
Say that. I mean, you're
Okay, so
asking.
my question is, why is it that because I get we get a lot of pushback for this, right? Why do you think that the pushback, like you just said, trade school, okay? what is it that's going on that makes people jump at when you say college, or jump at when you say because if you go to college, okay, that was great for you, that's the decision you made for you. If you just you decided not to go, that was great for you. Why do you think that people are such pushback on it? Like it's like it's a negative thing if a person decides to go, so to speak.
I'll jump in and
Mhm.
take this for you. All right, so shout out to the brother Israel first in his name. He went to school for business and mathematics, right? A lot of times when we hear about people going to school, it's not for a specialized subject, which Mike was touching on earlier. A lot of times it's just education for the sake of education. And in that case, people use education for the sake of education to belittle and not even demonize, but to enforce a social classism within black people. And when that's done, it creates a narrative, right? That I'm better than you because I went to college. And I went to college as well, but I don't look at it from that standpoint. But there are people who do. And there are people who look down their nose at people because they don't have a master's or because they don't have a PhD. And they use those things to create a social hierarchy that does not actually exist,
Well, I think the hierarchy
and
that would do
reinforce
exist,
it.
but
It
I don't
does
think
not
it
exist
exists because of
because
education.
It
I
doesn't.
know
What it
plenty of people that make way more. I mean, when I mean way, I mean like you could put all the PhD people you've ever met in your life in one room, and these people make way more money than them. If we want to use finances as a currency in which we judge people off of, or if you want to talk about just overall intelligence and critical thinking, they would blow them out the water as well.
well,
It just means you
and,
continue to further your education among a specific path. So you may
and
be an expert at that, but you're not an overall expert in general at life. Then
and
you have to factor in book smarts and street smarts, or just general critical thinking. But I'm gonna digress, Mike. You got it.
yeah, because even y'all saw that video of the woman who has a PhD, and there were
Mhm.
like six other women in the room and one country redneck dude, like the truck driver guy, and they said rank the IQ of everybody in this room, and
He
she
has the
said
highest
I'm a PhD, I'm number one. He had the highest IQ in the room. Remember,
IQ.
I used the word competence for a reason. The expansion of the college model got people out here thinking that they're smarter than they really are.
Mhm.
And just like Marcus said, it's used to belittle people.
Mhm.
You're not smarter than somebody just because you got a college degree. I have a
Mhm.
master's degree. I've met several people that can articulate and break down points on several subjects way better than I can. And then if we're being honest about what we learned in school, it has nothing to do most of the time with the shit on the job. It's like I got into the hospital, was like, why did I learn all that shit just to come here and I got to learn all new shit on the job? Like, you see what I'm saying? School is just school. It's like a barrier put in the way for admission to a job, right? These people who have been on the job for years learning the system, they are far more competent than us.
So
Once,
so let
but
me so I don't think that, so if I go outside, right? I live in a pretty decent neighborhood, okay? I don't think I look at my neighbors like, oh, did you go to college? Are you in a college educated? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that class is broke up that way. I think that that's something it's a talking point on the YouTube. But in real life, when you walk outside, if a person is in your surrounding, they're in your environment, it's just what it is, right? So I don't think that that's necessarily in real life. I don't think that that's necessarily true. Because
no,
I could be living next door to a guy. As a matter of fact, I think there is a guy who owns a plumbing business. I don't know if he went to college or not, but he's able to afford to live in the neighborhood. I don't treat him any different than I treat anybody else in the neighborhood. Like I'm not I don't understand that. You understand what I'm saying? Like when we look at the
yeah,
grand scheme of things and how the world really works outside of the internet, do you really, if he's in the same social circle that you are, do you really be like, oh, because you did that, you got there this way, you are, shit, Bill Gates didn't even graduate from college.
well,
Smartest
bad
guy,
example, bad
you know.
example.
So I don't think that is necessary. I think that we like to think that it's looked at that way.